Chop Shop Motors. My name is Clay, and tonight we're going to spend a little bit of time, not a ton, but a little bit of time, welding up kind of beat up tailgate. So I should be working on the other fender and things of that nature, but you know, I think with these projects you kind of have to know how you keep yourself motivated, and sometimes you just have to jump around. Sometimes I have to jump around a little bit to keep the gas lit. When you do a project that's a short time frame and it's start to finish, no matter what the caliber of it is, even when it's something that's really almost just for fun, throw it together kind of thing like this truck is, it's easy to get to about 90% and have the foot come off the gas pedal, and you kind of start to chug a little bit and pop through the carburetor, and you're like and that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to jump around just a little bit and try to keep stuff moving and keep making progress. We're so close, but you know, as you can tell, most of the stuff I do on these projects I do by myself, and when you do stuff by yourself, you know, COVID or not, it is really, you're the only person that motivates you. So you have to figure out how you keep things rolling, and you stay jazzed about going out and getting dirty when you're clean and making a mess when you don't really want to have to clean up after yourself. So we're gonna jump on this tailgate, and we're gonna see if we can at least weld it together and fix a couple of the big yahoos in it and turn it into something usable. And I mean, I think we'll win. It might not be gorgeous when we're done, but it'll be a tailgate. So let me move the camera around and you can watch as I do some damage. So here's this bent up old tailgate. I'm going to grab the disc sander and I'm going to clean up this area up here so we can weld it up, and then we'll look at drilling out the spot welds down here that are still in it so we can get this piece off and straighten it. So let me get those cleaned up with the grinder. So the progress so far is we've got it up on some sawhorses, and I put a 2x6 behind it just to pull it flat, and now I'm going to weld up this area in the middle where it had stress scrap. So I will weld that up, and then we'll proceed to fixing the next piece. Here is the progress on the tailgate. So I brought it inside because it's starting to get late, and I'm going to try to do this without making the neighbors cranky. So I pulled this piece off that sits on the outside of the tailgate, and it was held on with a few spot welds that were pretty on there, but we got it off. Here's why I took it off. It's a little hard to tell on the camera, but you can see it's bent all over, and it's bent along here really bad, and it's bent in there. It's got a big dent along the edge. The edge is supposed to be flat, so it's going to be a lot easier to beat on it and straighten it out as a separate piece, so I'll do that. And then this piece was bent all in here, so I'll straighten that up and get that true, and make it so this lip is flat, or as flat as possible. Make the hole down here where the hinge goes in round again, and we'll just kind of dress some of this up. I'm not trying to make it you know, super perfect, but I don't want it to look, you know, horrific if I can help it. So I think I can spend a little bit of time on it, even with my body working skills, and get it to be much closer than it is now, and make it probably presentable. I don't have any doubt around that. For those of you looking at it and going, oh my god, that's never going to be presentable, totally got it. but for this truck it's going to be just fine. It's now flat and square on the top. It's got an area that I need to body work. I'm going to probably do some body work on it later, you know, next year or something, after I drive it and have some fun with it. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. So right now I just want to make it sort of resemble as found truck that still is kind of fun to drive. So let me beat on this outer piece, this trim piece a little bit, and get it a little bit closer, then I'll show you how it looks. So I thought I'd bring you in here and beat on this for a while and just kind of let you watch. You can definitely fast forward through it, but I thought I would just bring this piece back and let you see how I do it. Whether it's how you do it or not is a whole nother question, but we'll kind of do it and show you. So probably the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can take some of that Yahoo out. So it's going to get loud. So I'm bending a couple of the tabs out of the way right here that get pinched over the lip of that tailgate. So it doesn't do me any good to have those down. So they'll probably, the first one broke, the second one will probably break, but I'm at least going to get it out of the way. Okay, so this piece is, the top is starting to get a little more of its shape back as you look down at, so we get it in front of the camera here. It's starting to have a little straighter contour. It doesn't have this big Yahoo in it, so we'll just keep working. Here's the progress on the tailgate. This side is clamped back together and it fits really quite well. It's clamped in there. I drilled through the spot weld holes on the outside and I'll plug weld those down into the tailgate. I'll weld it along the perimeter just like it was originally, top and bottom. And then inside here I put 2 plug holes in the inner flange and I'll weld to this. And it wasn't like that originally, but it'll give it a little extra strength in there. And then that'll be it. So, I mean, overall, I think it's going to turn out quite nice for what it is. So let me weld it and then I'll show you when it's the clench up. Okay, the bad side is welded back together. And it looks like a tailgate. So it's not completely deformed anymore. I think it's going to work on this truck. Is tailgate perfect and cherry? No, but it does at least resemble a tailgate that wasn't dragged by a bulldozer and then run over. So now the side that was originally better looks way worse. Let me see what we're going to do on this side and see if we can get that fixed. Well, the side that was really horrible turned out so much better than I expected. I figured I would do the same on this side. So I went ahead and drilled out the spot welds, pulled this piece off, and it is not as bent, but it was way more bent than I was going to be able to straighten on the tailgate. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to this as we did to the other side, and we'll weld it back together. So let me go beat the crap out of this piece of tailgate. Okay, we have the right side straightened out and clamped back in place. I can't tell you how much faster it is to just take it off. So much faster, at least for this project. So now I'll go ahead and weld it back on and just hit the high spots, and this simple little project will be done. So time to weld it up. And here's the tailgate welded back together. The ends look presentable. Gonna work for what we're doing. The middle needs a little body work, but it's gonna be fine. It's nice and strong. And this was I think this was the worst side. It's now looks decent and presentable too. Overall, tailgate will work just fine on that truck. It's pretty square. I think it's a success. So one more piece down and out of the way. I'll maybe play with it tomorrow or the next day and get the pivots on the tailgate pivots so that it'll go on the truck, and that part will be done. I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors, and we'll see you on the next project.